Hey guys, welcome aboard the Just Ty Now Shit with your host, Captain Naga. Hey guys, it's Just Ty. When you combine your mind with your heart, see what your gut mind is saying, let whatever come out, just come on out. It's Ty, SaunTai, whatever it is when I appear, then your time in reality is what you're going to call me. I want to talk right now, have a conversation on where we are in life, who we are in life, what are we doing, and going forth with the conviction of now is the time for people like myself to go forth with systems that is totally based off of what's conjured up in my imagination, as opposed to what I've been studying, what I've been taught, what I've been told. Study, taught, and told. All of those things are, for me, things that actually exist inside the matrix. Every single thing. Even learning. I spent a lot of my time learning. Y'all know how I am on this channel. Big brain mechanics. But what is that big brain but using the knowledge and know-how that it has around it in order to present itself a certain way when there's really no thing, when there's really nothing. But I'm cool with that. We do it every day, or else I wouldn't be materialized in front of you right now. But continuing on, without the fear of creating a reality, moving in reality that's where you feel like your thoughts are more, where you feel your thoughts more than you feel what other people are telling you to do. Humbleness goes a long way. But sometimes people are waiting for you to come and say the word. But when you don't say it, you're not acting on it. So reality going to play it out. So they playing it out on you and telling you what you was thinking you was going to do. And then you're like, oh yeah, thanks for encouraging me. And oh yeah, thanks, you always know. But it's time for us, because that's happening on so many different levels than we realize when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships that we have. And the relationship can be with anything, with a business, with a computer, with a person, with the park, with your job, with your coworker, with your friend. All of these ideals are always played out on us for us to use. And it's our choice, that's where it comes in. The deadly choice. You have to be free enough to make a choice. Free enough to make a choice. And you will go leaps and bounds beyond. That's what I'm seeing with how you've been previously experiencing life. It's like next level experience, next level God tier stuff going on. Because we love to be comfortable. And we love to be comfortable to the point where we'll stay in a relationship that's damning us. Literally damning us to hell. Literally damning us in hell. We're in hell while we're in that relationship. And like I said before, that can be with various things. People, objects, jobs, companies, family members, spouses, kids, cannabis. We all just like, man, sign me up. Sign me up so I can be comfortable and get through this life, because I'm scared that if I think for myself, I'm going to do something that's going to rattle the people around me. People not going to like me no more, not going to fuck with me no more. I'm going to question myself and my own reality. Come back in a bit. Yeah, you can have it. And I'm questioning myself and my own reality, and I got to keep moving or else it's all over. It seems like the game is over if you're not playing by their rules. And that's literal Ty. Just Ty. If you ain't playing by their rules, you yourself feel so uncomfortable that most of the time us humans go back and follow the rules. Instead of going off of our own spirit, our own intuition. I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday, and she was talking about some people, how they just never really learn that much about other activities, but they have this intuition that carries them through life. And most people like, man, them people stupid, people dumb. Like, you need knowledge, you need to know how this connects to that, and how people said this and that. But that's still the point I'm saying. That's what somebody else said. That's what somebody else put in place. Even to the way that we communicate. We communicate through language. And those of us, some of us, I still say I can pronounce my words so much more eloquent But sometimes I want to say eloquently, or I want to use slang or just different characters. And some people who have not been able to grasp the King's English, which is all this is the King's English, the King's proper English, is they're considered stupid or below the level of intelligence because they're not able to enunciate their words on how they feel with enough depth to captivate a person who so-called is masterful of this art of words. Like they just like to they went to college for English. And you hear how most English people that go to school for English to learn more English, you be hearing them say, man, what I go to school do all that for? Like if you want to be a teacher, hey, that's something. Or if you want to write a book, that's something else. But it's people that never went to college and writing New York Times bestsellers or bestsellers, cult classics. That's not even in the New York Times bestseller. That's just New York putting out another stigmatism that, hey, if it's not out by us, it ain't the best. And I respect game. That's all I'm doing on it. I respect game because everybody playing it. Everybody playing it. And it's about time that we have the balls, the braveness, the guts, put the cape on, take the mask off, and really go and be ourselves. Because when we're not ourselves, we're being used to build other empires that's not really ourselves. And I'm not saying go on and be tyranny, go on and be conquistadors and conquer everything. But hey, if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. But what I'm really saying is just reclaiming your mind territory, your astral territory, where you exist in the astral realm, the thing that's connected, the feelings that just flowing and always weaving and ebbing out of realities and stuff like that. Connecting with that part of the self, because that's the mechanism that's creating everything that we see now. We say that our thoughts create reality. Well, what are you really thinking? What are you really thinking? You think you're thinking something. But what if that's just down the ladder, down the line of a train of thoughts that led to that thought? And that thought came off of this, like I said, it came off of that, and then off of that, and off of that, and off of that. And you like, man, this is all that exists. This is all that exists. There's many different worlds out here. Many different worlds. And depending on what world of thought that we exist in, is what we're going to take. I saw a meme today that was saying a honeybee can convince a fly that honey is so much better, tastes sweet and stuff like that. But the fly was just like, man, this shit tastes good to me. This shit tastes good to me. So just tie. Be in your spiritual nature, not tapping into your spiritual nature, not studying your spiritual nature, but yeah, studying it, realizing who you are. That's part of the picture. Going back and, like I said, to what thought led to that thought, led to that thought, led to that thought, so you could get to what is a source, or as much as close to the source as you can be, because it can be infinite amount of layers beyond my human recognition at the time that I can put into speech. But I know that it exists, and I don't know the way that exists, but I feel the way, and that's how it's supposed to be. People that say they know stuff don't know shit, because all we know is stuff that we've been taught. Like I said, I'm talking to you in the England's English. It's remixed. It's remixed. Like, we don't talk like British people. And we're like, man, they sound so proper when we listening to them. Oh, man, movies and stuff. Y'all just sound like y'all at peace. Then you go over there, they just as ratchet as us. Ratchet as North Philly. Y'all go to Bradford, where Dynamo from is. That's straight hood. That's where a lot of the music. I'm listening to a lot of UK rap music now. That's coming from the ghettos and the slums of the people that talk just like the proper blah blah blah, like we would call proper, but they out shooting, they out ganging out just like we are. Cause so this sense of authority in our mind, we need to take command seat in that Star Trek pilot position. What's the guy name? I forget. I was about to call him Pontius Pilate, but Captain Picard. Picard. I knew I had a P in there. Picard, Pisces. But yeah, having fun, guys. Just Ty. Just think about these things. Just think about these things and just talk about whatever comes out. Let it come out. Because the sense of relief you get once you start digging, once you start talking, you can be thinking, but sometimes when you talk things out, you know where you really are. Because where you talking is a point of where you really are. Because you're speaking it into existence. So for me, it's like all of your sensors is homed in on this creation. So that is what's going on. So don't be afraid to live the way that you want to live. And I'm saying the way that you want to live. And if that means that you have to have conversations that's painful, conversations you never want to have before, or conversations that you thought only crazy people had, well, welcome to the Thai side. You find somebody to talk to. Because we all sustaining this journey together. We all in this because we created it together. And even on the biggest side, it's really all about you. It's really on the Thai side, really just about you. It's really all about your perceptions, about how you create them, how you manipulate them, and how you exist in it. And that's really it. That's really the magnificent of it all. And everything else is because we believe it. We created all that stuff. We created all of that at the end of the biggest point of the day. It's just that since we in the mix, we're going to play it out. We're going to play it out like it's something going at us. And we're going to manifest it because our imagination is real. Like, this is a motherfucking dream. And who said that dream had to be pretty? Who said it's not pretty? Pretty is just a perception. Sometimes people paint pretty flowers and call it pretty. Sometimes people paint a skeleton and say it's beautiful. So just tie on who you listening to. And because times is changing where it's going to be more than just the proper authorities of the three main religions that's running the world right now. There's going to be a lot of people that's coming up with their own belief patterns and going to live them out in a way that is going to affect their family relationships for the good or the bad, well, the beneficial or the non-beneficial, ways that's going to hurt them that they could have avoided or that they just going to accept and stuff like that. Or it's going to come back in a bit, or it's going to come back for a way in. Sorry, guys. Like I said, people not gonna always understand the flow. Not gonna always understand the flow, and when you start acting remarkable, sometimes gonna rub people the wrong way because they're gonna think because the way on the outside, that militant behavior. That's why I'm saying it's gonna take bravery. Take bravery to really move forward with the mindset, because people gonna play you, like I've been saying, playing you by playing that reality out and using your mind to play it out. Even having you manifest the thing. But you'll get that trip in your mind like, man, I could have avoided this. Or man, it feel like if I think different, this situation not going to happen. Not blame the other person. But if I think different, if I believe differently and act on that belief, that then things is going to act out on the ways that I'm seeing in my mind, because now I'm taking the steps to cross the bridge, to bridge the gap. That's what it is. Not just cross the bridge and be like, oh man, I'm there, and then on your downs, oh man, where am I? Life sucks. But to bridge the gap, it takes work to build the bridge, to build the Brooklyn Bridge, the San Francisco Bridge. I'm just going through all the bridges I know in America. The bridge to Narnia, the bridge that was in Fillory and the Magicians. It take work to open it and to be able to traverse back and forth and to have that, what y'all call on earth, kundalini energy, that serpent energy that goes from the root base, the red chakra, all the way up to the crown, to the rainbow, to the white chakra, and to the Unseth Or in the Kabbalah tree of life. But it take work It takes work because we can exist in a because what is time? But something a measurement. It's a measurement of a place of where you're at. So wherever you are is how time is being measured. So when bad things happen, you know how they say time flies by when you're having fun? If the thing you measuring is bad times and all this troubled times, you can be in those realities forever. You can be in Maku forever, which is like the earth kingdom, the bottom root chakras, just thinking you gotta survive, rather you just murking, robbing, killing, destroying on whim, no second thought. Or like you were just taught off an order follower, or just thinking that this is it. Just thinking that this is it. And then sometimes tapping into your soul, which is in this Jewish tradition studies represents like your sexual chakras, your emotional energies, like all of that is all emotions, things that we create, that wishing to create things. Sometimes people tap into that, but you see how most time people not. But then they try to tap into other people that's into that energy, because you gotta know we all gods. And we just don't use them words no more because we don't look at it like that. We don't speak that kind of English, that kind of language anymore. It's not built in us. Like even when we say magicians and everything, it's an article, and this is just still using bullshit ass science and what people said, but it was interesting to my mind. It was waking me up to the realization of who I am. When somebody posted an article that they found a new book of the Christian Bible, and they was talking about, and it was made because there was a lot of books going around before at the Council of Nicaea they said, hey, we're just going to have these books and it's going to fit just like this and nice and pretty, there go that word, and then that's it. But it was a lot of books going around that people called themselves Christians was going by, and it was this book that just came out that they finally put into English for the first time from Gnostic Egyptian texts, or Gnostic. It's like a mix of Egyptian and Greek language, because when the Greeks came in to the Egyptians and with Cleopatra, with Caesar and shit, and was like, hey, y'all we kind of understand what y'all saying, but our smartest people are going to learn y'all language, and then we're going to change it and slowly introduce our Greek into it, just to make it easier for us. And not just to make it easier for us, to literally take over. Once we control the language, how you talk, how you speak, how you think, because you have to think in that language in order to say it. Like some people, when they speak in Spanish, they think in Spanish. They're not thinking in English and then speaking Spanish. If it's their native language, they're thinking in Spanish. So now if you wipe that out, mix it up, slowly introduce this other language, now you're in another reality. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. But that's how we get. That's the game, and that's what we signed up for. That's what we signed up for, and that's why I like that psychedelics allow me to really still get the big picture at hand, so I can feel like the magicians of the past, which is now. And like I said, just get more layers removed in my programming to realize more of who I am, which is still just a big continuation of a story of who this person, whoever this person is, displaying itself and evolving and remixing reality as it goes through. I have millennia of knowledge through my head, of experiences going through my head, thousands and thousands of years of experiences that I'm dealing with that's creating this moment that I'm in now. So me going through this higher level of what I would say complex thinking, like say trigonometry compared to geometry, compared to just learning that it's circles, squares, and triangles. Like the levels to it, is what I'm working with. Thanks to the psychedelics really removing a lot of the passages and me working alongside with it, because like I said, it's still a choice. Because I can still say, hey man, all this things that was introduced to my brain is wow, it's too extreme, it's too much, it's things that's coming to my mind that's like, man, I don't want to act on that because that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt somebody because I don't know how to have that proper conversation about it, or I don't know how to leave the situation to make it better, or I don't know how to do that because of this and that, all this other crap. But then psychedelics just make it like, oh yeah, this is what's really going on. And then when we start making certain choices and pondering, like meditating in that realm, and not just meditating in this realm with your two eyes, but opening literally wherever that other eye is, and looking and seeing what's going on around you and stuff like that. You can then see what's going on around you and then act on it instead of just guessing. We be guessing a lot. And that's good. We're guessing, going off. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going off. My dad did that, or this happened to me 4 months ago, so that's why I'm gonna make this decision right now. Instead, like, as soon as we be thinking those thoughts, oh, I gotta think this, is like, that's taken away from the moment. It's taken away from the now. And we can go off of that. We can build up with other people that's used to going off of that. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to go off and be with other people in a reality where y'all say, hey, we just talk about, hey, I did this last time. So that's the only way that it's going to work. Not just the best way. I can see it being the best way or a heartfelt way. But most people say that's the only way. And then psychedelics and my mind state and how things come into my view of vision, it started leaking in. Like I said, that Kundalini energy, when you start connecting the rim, the rims and everything, is you see how it's all one and how you're not really connecting anything. You're just realizing that it's always been there and that you've been just a fucking idiot. You've been playing the fool. You've been the fool card on the journey of the tarot card. Just finally going out. Brisk like, hey, yeah, I don't know what's there, but I'm ready for it. I'm going to jump off this cliff. I'm ready for all the adventure. It's just like that, which is very honorable. But now that we going on, the next card right after that is the Magician on the tarot. And you see he got all his elements laid down on the table. You got the wand pointing up, as above, so below. So he connecting that Kundalini energy, I said, bridging the gap, using that work ethic. And so that's why he got all his elements. He's tying. He's really tying. Pay attention to all the things that's readily available for him to use. The wand, which is his will. The cup, the water, which is the emotions. The pinnacle, which is the earth. The solidarity, I'm going to survive, I'm going to do this. Cup, wand, sword, and the shield. I think that's the other one. Oh, what the fuck is it? Tarot suits. Not bad. Man, it really don't matter. I'm gonna keep this all in there. Yeah, they're not saying it. They just showing me all this other stuff. But yeah, it got all of that in there. It got all of that. That's what the Magician do, period. I just go off my own whim. That's what the Magician is doing. We gotta create our own tarot decks. And tarot only means, it comes from the Jewish word, the law. It's like in tarot, if some goddess that's associated with it. And the High Priestess card, it's a whole bunch of mysticisms and things build up into it. That's why it's good to use, but it's cooler to invent your own. There's people out here in stores, go to Barnes and Noble, you see like 10 different tarot, different decks. And you're like, man, how they come up with this? Because they put in that work. And then they're masters of reality. They're masterminding reality. So now things that they do is playing out on reality that literal other people are going to pick up on, because that's how it's supposed to happen. Because that's what they thought was going to happen. Not if they put in the work, they bridge the gap, they put in all the symbols, put all the colors for what came to their intuition. They say, hey, this is what that other guy did. I see what he was on to, because that's me too. But that's what they was doing back then. That's not me. This is me. I'm me right now. So for me to act, this is what I have to act in. And nothing else. But your whole time learning everybody else's system. And then when you try to practice it, you don't get the results you expect. And trust me, that's what I did. Unless you really, really become a robot. and go to a T. Go to a T. That's why when you see certain people come up, you already know what religion they a part of. Sometimes people come up, you can always get a vibe of what they're going to be presenting themselves as. Because they practiced that. They watched it on TV. They watched it in neighbors around them. They studied their favorite uncle. So, I've been tired out of here. We're going to be keeping up with the SaunTai podcast, other art projects, and keeping together in this journey of life, of love, of forgiveness, of unforgiveness, of rising above, even having to forgive or forget. And just going with the tide. Going with the tide. So I'm gonna leave y'all, bros, sis, rocks, aliens, everybody out there, the air, the wind, the trees, that blah blah. We all tie. But do we really tie? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. Tie always.